Good morning, everybody. This is our astrology weather forecast for the 9th of January 2025. And it is not a complex day today. The moon continues through Taurus until 8:07 p.m. Eastern Time. It will form a trine to Pluto. But today, the theme is the old and the new, because we have the moon going through Taurus, which wants to ground things, is more traditional. It takes a slower, more methodical approach to things, but we also have the moon conjunct to Uranus. Moon in Taurus conjunct to Uranus. So it's an interesting thing when we have the old and the new meeting in such a way, blending. We can see that they really aren't they really aren't counter to each other. They don't have to show up in an adversarial way. So we have the meeting of the old and the new, the traditional and the innovative, and it gives us a completeness. There's a meeting of stability and progress. So we can figure out how can we maintain our personal traditions, our stability, our ideas of groundedness, and how can we include something new? And we don't have aspects that indicate fear. We don't have aspects that indicate things going off the rails. So it can be more of a simple process to combine, to integrate, and to come to this place of grounded integration. So we don't have that free-flowing nervousness, the potential for landmines that we can't see. Uranus can bring us that effect because you don't always know what's going to happen, but in Taurus and without, really other difficult aspects, we can relax. We can enjoy the new, but not see it as something that's going to uproot us and cause us to have to start again. It's a really good feeling of, excitement that isn't disruptive. We don't always get that ease of integration. And as the moon goes into Gemini, we have that trine. To Pluto. Just looking at this in my head here. So this deepens things. We don't associate the Gemini moon with depth because it is so concerned with options. And that could be the shadow side of Gemini, that we don't settle, we don't put roots down because we're concerned with experimentation, we're concerned with what's next, and options. It can be something that keeps us from maturing, that keeps us from allowing something too mature. Because we can have this habit with planets in Gemini, or if we have a really active Mercury. This is something that Mercury, and just having come into Capricorn, is teaching us here. Is, can we put down roots, allow something to grow, to take hold, and then not become bored when things do reach some level of maturity, and then pull up what we've planted by the roots and then start again. So the maturation process of what we choose to invest in, this is Moon Pluto trines, that is what can be the most enjoyable, to get to watch something grow, rather than to get to a point where we realize it's going to require more of us. We may have to start investing more. We may have to mature and grow along with what it is that we've chosen to plant. We just had the moon sun square here. So we're looking at the roots that we want to put down. And are those good roots? Is what we've planted or decided upon or invested in around the new moon in Capricorn, is that starting to look good to us, or are we starting to see cracks in that? Is that starting to show up as maybe a bad decision? We need to realign. We need to redirect. We're looking at that when we have that tension that comes in between the sun and the moon. So are the decisions that we made around the new moon starting to look promising? What we did, the seeds we planted, because remember, we planted those big seeds of maturity. And what's happening at this point? So we are looking potentially at other options, other things, other ways of being, other avenues. And we have the moon coming into Gemini, but the trine to Pluto has us deeply feeling into things. So it's an interesting day in terms of our inner state of being, with so much moon activity and more of a lack of really close aspects between inner planets. We do have a quintile between Jupiter and the North Node, which is very helpful in terms of redirection towards our hopes and our dreams, combining that dharmic purpose with what is uplifting, growth, what feeds our spirit. So it's a time where we can have some desires of our heart emerge and decide to get on board with that new journey, because Jupiter is what has us looking forward to getting up in the morning, seeing what's on the other side of the bend, climbing that mountain. And with the goal of getting to the top, Jupiter's enjoying the journey. So I'll leave you with that, and I will catch you guys later on. Bye-bye.